Take a moment to feel how safe and warm you are, right here, right now. The day has ended, and there is nothing more it needs from you. Picture a lighthouse standing tall above a calm sea, glowing softly through the gathering dark. Below it, the water breathes in and out, slow and gentle and unhurried. Let your own breath fall into that same quiet rhythm. Feel your body grow heavier with each one, sinking deeper into rest. Your thoughts are slowing now, growing soft and distant. There is only this peaceful shore, this gentle light, and the welcome arrival of sleep. On the grassy slope beneath the lighthouse, the autumn dusk comes slowly, gilding the dry seed heads of the long grass until they glow. You lie back and feel the cooling earth beneath you, the last warmth of the day held in the soil. Above, the lamp begins to wheel its soft beam through the deepening blue. The sea sighs far below, patient and slow, each wave a long exhalation against the shore. A faint smell of salt and warm grass rises around you. A single late bee drifts by, low and unhurried, then settles somewhere out of sight. You watch the light pass overhead again, gentle as a hand smoothing a sheet, and your breathing falls into its quiet, even rhythm. From the bench on the harbor green, you watch the blue hour settle over the lighthouse and the moored boats below. The lamp turns slow above the water, its glow brushing the rigging and the dark calm bay. The boats rock gently, their reflections wavering long and soft. Somewhere a gull murmurs and goes quiet. The air is cool and smells of salt, and the day's last warmth rising from the stones beneath you. One by one the harbor lamps wake, small and golden along the quay. You sit without hurry, hands folded, watching the gentle scene deepen toward night, and feel the slow, kind peace of the small harbor wrap around you like an old and familiar blanket. From the lighthouse doorway you watch the blue hour give way slowly to the first soft dark, the sea breathing low beyond the rocks. The lamp turns warm above you, spilling its glow out into the gathering night and drawing it back again. The sky has deepened past blue, and the stars are many now, calm and steady over the still water. A cool wind moves up from the sea, salted and gentle. The swells fold quietly far below, unhurried and even. You lean in the open doorway, neither in nor out, watching the light go round and round across the dim water, and feel the deep simple peace of the day fully ended, and the quiet night settling in. You lie on a flat blanket spread across the grassy slope just below the lighthouse, your hands folded behind your head, the great lamp turning softly above and to your side. The whole sky leans down toward you, dense with stars, and you let yourself sink into the cool ground as if into a bed. The sea sounds far off and steady, a long soft hush against the shore. Every so often the beam passes overhead, a pale ribbon of light crossing the dark, and then the stars return, bright and unhurried. You feel small in the best way, cradled by the earth beneath and the sky above. Your breathing slows. The night asks nothing of you at all. From the warm lantern room you watch the moon rise slowly out of the winter sea, huge and pale and cold, laying a broad track of silver across the dark water. The lamp turns beside you, its gold beam crossing the moon's silver path now and then in a slow, patient rhythm. Frost edges the glass, and the room hums faintly with the turning of the light. Below, the swells roll in long and low, each one catching the moonlight as it rises and folds. Snow lies soft on the gallery and the cliffs beyond. The cold presses gently at the panes, but you are warm here, watching the pale moon climb and the silver track widen across the calm dark sea. The slow beauty of it loosens your thoughts and draws you softly towards sleep. The cold has driven the gulls to roost, and the lighthouse keeps its watch over an empty winter shore. You walk the frozen tide line by the glow of the turning beam, your boots crunching softly on the icy sand. The sea draws back and slides forward in long, slow breaths, leaving thin films of water that freeze almost at once into bright crackling skins. Frost glitters on the dark stones and the stranded ribbons of kelp. The air is sharp and clean and very still. Above, the lamp turns out over the dark water, calm and tireless. You pause to watch a wave fold quietly over and slide back, then fold again, slow and patient as breathing. The cold, empty shore is yours alone tonight, and its deep quiet settles gently into you. Far out on the bay, a buoy rocks slowly in the calm spring evening, and from the lighthouse gallery you watch its small light blink in the gathering dusk. The great lamp turns above you, its wide beam sweeping out to meet the little flashing point and passing on. The sea between is dark and gentle, moving in long, slow swells that catch the last gray light. The air is cool and salt-laden, and a soft wind passes and is still. You rest your arms on the cool railing and watch the two lights keep their patient company, the great slow turn and the small steady blink, far apart across the quiet water. The peace of it settles over you, slow and deep and calm. High on a ledge of the lighthouse tower, a pied wagtail has found a sheltered corner for the night, its small black and white body tucked against the warm stone. The bird's long tail is still now, no longer bobbing as it does by day, and it sits quietly in the lee of the wall. The great lamp turns above, casting its light out across the sea, and the soft glow spills gently around the resting wagtail. Below, the cliffs in the dark water lie hushed. You watch the little bird settle, feathers fluffed, head sinking slowly toward its breast. The night air moves softly past the tower. The wagtail rests in its high stone corner, warm and safe, while the patient lamp keeps its slow watch over the sleeping coast. The tide is going out below the lighthouse, and the blue owl reveals a long ribbon of wet sand. You walk it slowly, your footprints filling softly with water behind you. The lamp above turns and casts a faint pale sheen across the smooth flats. Strands of seaweed lie in gentle curves, and small pools hold the dim blue of the sky. The sea has drawn back to a low murmur far out, unhurried and content. A cool breeze moves over the sand, carrying salt and the clean smell of low tide. You breathe it in deep and slow, feeling the wide calm of the emptying shore, where nothing hurries and the evening simply unfolds at its own gentle pace. On the desk sits a brass inkwell, its lid hinged and worn smooth at the catch. You lift the little lid, and it rises with a faint, satisfying creak. Inside, the dried ink has gone to a dark glaze, cracked into a fine map of tiny islands. The glass well within the brass casing is clouded faintly, soft in the lamplight. The base is heavy and cool, its surface dotted with the gentle green of age. A faint ring of old ink stains the rim, soft and harmless now. You close the lid again with a small click, and the inkwell settles on its felt pad, patient and quiet, holding the memory of slow words long written. High in the lantern room of the lighthouse, you sit beside the great lamp as it turns, its warm beam sweeping slowly out over the gilded autumn sea. The glass all around glows with the low sun, and the prisms throw soft fragments of gold across the floor. Below, the swells roll in broad and unhurried, their reflections wavering on the curved panes. The mechanism hums a low, even note, patient as a heartbeat. The air smells faintly of warm metal and clean salt. You watch the light reach far out across the water and circle home again, again, again. A distant boat winks its small lamp in answer. The evening deepens around the high glass room, calm and golden, and your eyes grow heavy with the slow, steady turning. From a window in the upper part of the lighthouse, you watch a soft spring mist drift in over the bay at dusk. It comes slowly, pale and gentle, blurring the far shore and softening the world to muted shapes of gray and blue. The lamp above turns steadily, and its beam glows wide and diffuse within the mist, like a warm breath of light. The sea below is hushed, its small waves muffled and slow. The cool damp air smells clean and faintly of rain. You rest your forehead against the cool glass and watch the mist fold gently around the tower, hiding nothing dangerous, only wrapping the evening in softness. Everything grows quiet and dim and kind, and you feel wonderfully safe and still. A worn wooden walkway connects the lighthouse to the low cliff, and you stand upon it now as the afternoon ripens into gold. The planks are warm beneath your shoes, and the rope handrail is soft and frayed and sun-heated under your palm. Below, between the boards, you can see the sea moving in the shadow channel, dark green going to bronze where the light finds it. The lighthouse rises ahead, bright and calm, its great lamp dark and resting in the daylight. The breeze carries the smell of tar and salt and warm wood. You stop in the middle of the walkway and lean on the rope, watching a long line of foam draw itself slowly along the rocks and feel wonderfully, gently small. On the grassy slope behind the lighthouse, the wind moves through the long meadow grasses with a soft, continuous whisper. It is a sound like distant rain, gentle and unbroken, rising and falling as the breeze drifts across the headland. Crickets sing in the cooling dark, their small notes weaving in and out of the wind's quiet voice. Far off, the sea adds its low and patient murmur, and behind you the lamp's faint hum turns steadily on. You lie back in the cool grass and look up at the slow sweep of the beam against the night, and the layered, gentle sounds of the place settle over you like a quiet and welcome tide. Tonight you tend a small fire in the hearth at the foot of the lighthouse while rain falls quietly outside. The flames glow low and orange, throwing soft light over the round stone room. Through a narrow window you can see the rain falling steadily into the dark, lit now and then by the beam high above. The sound reaches you gentle and far, and even murmur beneath the soft crackle of the fire. The sea breathes slowly beyond the walls, calmed by the rain. You add a small piece of wood and settle back into a worn chair, your face warm in the firelight. The rain keeps its patient rhythm, and the fire keeps its quiet glow, and between the two of them you feel yourself growing wonderfully drowsy and content. You imagine a lighthouse cat tonight, curled warm on a windowsill while rain falls steadily outside. You sit nearby in a soft chair, watching the small creature breathe slow and easy in its sleep. Beyond the glass, the rain comes down even and gentle, drawing silver lines through the dark, lit now and then by the turning beam. The sea sighs low and far below, soothed by the falling drops. The room is warm and dim, and the cat's quiet rhythm and the rain's soft murmur weave together into one drowsy hush. You rest your head against the chair's high back and feel your own breath slow to match the sleeping cat's. The rain keeps falling, patient and kind, and the warm room holds you both, and gently, gently, your eyes begin to close. Within the small kitchen, the last warmth of the day lingers in the stone, and you sit at the worn table as the lighthouse beam passes the window in slow gold. The sea breathes low and calm beyond the wall, and a single lamp glows soft over the room. You think fondly of countless simple suppers taken here in quiet contentment, the gentle solitude as comfortable as the chair beneath you. The lamp glows steady. The beam turns. The waves sigh gently against the rocks. You let your hands rest easy on the smooth wood, and your gaze settle on the soft gold light as it comes and goes, and the deep warm calm spreads slowly through you, soft as the lingering heat of the stone. On the headland above the lighthouse a single old bench faces west, and you sit there now as the afternoon pours its gold across the whole wide bay. The lighthouse stands below you, small and white and patient on its point, its long shadow reaching back across the rocks. The sea is calm to the horizon, a vast shining plain of bronze and amber, broken only by the slow drift of a distant sail. The bench is warm beneath you, the wood smooth with years. Wild grass nods gently at your feet. The air is mild and full of salt and the faint sweetness of gauze. You rest your hands in your lap and let your gaze travel slowly out across the gold water, and feel the whole calm evening gather softly around you. You climb the worn stone steps of the lighthouse one last time tonight, and the cool air settles softly on your shoulders. The lamp turns above you in its slow, patient circle, brushing the dark water with a ribbon of pale gold. Below, the sea breathes in and out against the rocks, unhurried, as if it too is ready for rest. You rest your hand on the iron rail, smoothed by years of quiet keepers before you, and you think gently of evenings much like this one. There is no one to answer to here, no clock to keep but the tide. The light sweeps out, returns, sweeps out again, and your breathing slows to match its peaceful, even rhythm. On the seaward side of the lighthouse, the rocks slope down to the water in dark weathered shelves, and the first light pools in their hollows. You pick your way down slowly and find a smooth place to sit above the gentle surf. The sea breathes in and out against the stone, white foam gathering and slipping away. The air is cool and full of salt, and the lighthouse rises behind you, silent and pale. As the dawn brightens, the wet rocks begin to gleam, holding small mirrors of the warming sky. You wrap your arms around your knees and watch the slow, easy movement of the water, feeling time loosen and stretch in the quiet. From the top of the lighthouse stair, you step out onto the gallery just as the spring evening turns fully to night. The lamp behind you hums softly and turns, sending its wide beam out over the dark, calm sea, around and around, patient and sure. Below, the water is barely visible now, a gentle murmur of unseen waves against the rocks. Above, the sky has filled with soft stars, and the cool salt-laden breeze moves past you and is still. The world is hushed and dim and wide. You rest your arms on the cool railing and watch the light sweep out into the darkness and return over and over, slow and certain, and a deep and peaceful calm settles over you as the night comes gently on. The foghorn does not sound tonight, for the winter air is too clear, and so the lighthouse keeps its watch in perfect silence. You sit wrapped in a heavy blanket on the cold stone bench at the tower's base, looking out where the sea meets the starlit dark. Each star burns hard and bright in the frozen sky, doubled faintly in the still black water below. The beam turns overhead in its slow circle, throwing a soft moving glow across the snow at your feet. Your breath rises and fades. The cold is sharp but kind, and the quiet is so complete you can hear the small lap of water against the rocks. You let your eyes half close and rest in the deep winter calm. A row of weathered posts marks the old path to the lighthouse, and you walk among them as night gathers. The faint breeze moves through the dune grass with a dry, soft whisper, then lets it lie still. The sea beyond is calm and dim, its low swell barely whitening at the distant shore. Ahead, the white tower glows against the dusk, its lamp turning slowly above the quiet water. The cool sand gives softly beneath your feet, and the salt air fills each slow breath. You pause beside one of the leaning posts, resting a hand on its smooth gray wood, and feel the deep stillness of the headland settle over you, gentle and unhurried. The cliff steps that lead down to the cove are old and uneven, and the fog has settled in their hollows like soft pale water. You descend them slowly, one careful step at a time, your hand brushing the cool, damp rope rails strung along the cliff. The mist parts before you and closes gently behind. Below, the sea is only a sound, a slow, rhythmic hush rising up through the gray. The lighthouse glows faintly far above your shoulder now. Each step takes you deeper into the soft enclosing quiet, and you feel no urgency at all, only the calm pleasure of moving carefully through a tender, hidden world that asks nothing of you. Out on the calm water in a small moored dinghy, you lie back with a folded coat for a pillow and watch the lighthouse glow gold against the late afternoon sky. The boat rocks gently, lifted and lowered by swells too soft to break, and the water laps quietly against the hull. The lighthouse stands tall and warm on its point, its reflection a long shimmering ribbon reaching almost to where you drift. The air is mild and full of salt. A few gulls wheel slowly overhead, dark against the bright sky, and settle on the water nearby. You trail one hand in the cool sea and watch the ripples spread and fade. The boat sways, the light deepens, the lighthouse keeps its calm watch, and you feel yourself rot slowly toward rest. You lie in a narrow bed in the keeper's cottage beside the lighthouse, listening to the soft tick of snow against the window. The room is dim and warm, lit only by the faint glow that drifts in each time the great lamp turns outside. Beyond the wall the sea moves in long, slow folds, its quiet voice rising and falling like steady breathing. Snow gathers on the sill, building a small white ridge you can just make out in the half-light. The flakes are gentle, unhurried, falling as though they have all night to reach the ground. You pull the quilt to your chin, feeling the cold held safely outside, and let the slow rhythm of the turning light draw your eyes softly closed. Inside the snug room at the tower's heart, you bank the small fire for the night and settle into the worn chair as the lighthouse beam crosses the window in slow gold. The sea breathes low and calm beyond the thick walls, and the fire glows soft amber in the grate. You think fondly of the quiet evenings kept just so, warm and content, while the faithful light did its patient work. The flames sink low. The beam turns. The waves sigh gently against the rocks. The warmth of the room wraps softly around you, and your eyes grow heavy in the gentle glow, and your thoughts loosen and drift, slow and easy, toward the deep, untroubled quiet of the night. On a calm night, the lighthouse pier stretches out into the rain, and you walk its length beneath a wide black umbrella. The drops drum softly overhead and fall in steady streams from the edges. To either side the dark water lies almost flat, its surface gently roughened by the rain. The tower glows behind you, its beams sweeping out over the harbor and the sea, brushing the falling rain with pale light. Your footsteps are quiet on the wet planks, and the air is cool and clean against your face. There is a deep and simple peace in this slow walk through the rain. You reach the end of the pier and stand, listening, while the gentle rain and the quiet sea soothe every thought toward stillness. A small sandy beach lies in the lee of the lighthouse, and the receding tide has left it smooth and shining gold in the evening light. You walk slowly across the firm wet sand, your footprints filling softly with mirrored sky behind you. Ribbons of bladderwrack and pale shell fragments scatter the high tide line. The sea is far out now, a low, even murmur of small waves folding over themselves. The tower glows behind you, its lamp beginning its gentle nightly sweep. The air smells of salt and the cool sand. You stop to watch a sandpiper trot along the water's edge, unbothered, then drift on. The whole bay is hushed and amber, and your thoughts grow slow and soft as the light fades. From the edge of the cliff path you look down on a small cove where the autumn evening pools, amber in the shallows. The water is so still that the lighthouse leans into it as a soft reflection, its white tower blurred to pale ivory on the surface. Bronze leaves from a wind-bent rowan drift down and settle on the rocks without a sound. The sea folds over smooth pebbles in long, unhurried sighs, drawing back, returning, drawing back. A pair of gulls ride the warm air far above, wings barely moving. You breathe in the cool, clean scent of brine and let it out slowly. The light turns. The cove holds the gold a little longer, then lets the evening come. Inside the lantern room, the brass is dim and warm, and the fog presses so close to the glass that the beam seems to light only the mist itself, a soft revolving room of gold built fresh with every turn. You sit on a low stool within the gentle hum of the clockwork and watch the gray beyond brighten and dim, brighten and dim. The smell of warm metal and oil is faint and comforting. Far below, the sea keeps its muffled rhythm. There is nowhere you need to be, and nothing you need to do but watch the slow light turn through the patient fog, and your thoughts grow soft and few and finally still. Where fresh water meets the sea below the lighthouse, a small stream tumbles softly over rounded stones in the gray morning light. You sit on the bank and watch the clear water braid and slide toward the calm tide pools at the shore. The lighthouse stands above on its rocky point, pale and quiet, its lamp dimmed for the day. The stream's voice is gentle, a low and constant murmur woven through the distant hush of the sea. Ferns and moss line the banks, glistening with dew. The air is cool and smells of wet stone and salt. You let the soft sound of running water fill your ears, watch the light slowly brighten on the stones, and feel a deep, easy calm settle quietly over you. A soft breeze rises off the moonlit water and drifts up to the lighthouse gallery where you stand, cool and clean against your face. The bright full moon lights the calm sea below, and the breeze sends slow ripples across it that gleam and fade like passing thoughts. The lamp turns steadily beside you, sweeping its pale beam out over the gently moving water. You can hear the soft murmur of the waves and the faint whisper of the wind around the tower. The night feels wide and tender, lit by a moon that asks nothing of you. You rest your hands on the cool rail and breathe in the salt fresh air, feeling the gentle breeze and the slow sea and the patient light all carry you toward a deep and easy calm. A length of soft chamois lies folded on the shelf, pale and supple as a cloud. You lift it and feel its gentle nap, the way it clings faintly to your skin as you draw it across your palm. The leather is the color of cream gone soft with age, worn thin at the folds. A faint scent of oil and dust rises from it, clean and warm. Where it has been used to polish brass, it has darkened to a gentle gold. You smooth it flat against the shelf, following the soft creases with your fingers, then fold it once again and lay it down. The chamois rests there, soft and patient, holding the quiet of 1,000 gentle wipings. A length of fishing net hangs draped over a wooden frame, its mesh soft and supple with use. You let your fingers slip through the open squares, feeling the smooth knots where the cords cross and bind. The net is a faded ochre, darkened at the edges by salt and weather, and pleasantly light when you lift a fold of it. Small fragments of dried weed cling here and there, brittle and pale. Where the cords have worn, they have grown furred and gentle to the touch. You spread a section flat across your palm, tracing its even pattern, then let it fall back into its soft heap, settling like a slow exhale in the dim and quiet room. The keeper's lamp glows amber behind a small kitchen window, and from outside through the mist it looks like a single warm star fallen low to the ground. The fog wraps the cottage in hush, smoothing the edges of the chimney and the little fence and the upturned boat resting on the grass. You walk the gravel slowly so as not to disturb the quiet, your footsteps soft and even. The smell of wood smoke threads faintly through the salt air. Inside you imagine a kettle just beginning to warm, the steam joining the mist at the pane, and you feel yourself growing drowsy, lulled by the steady, gentle glow that keeps watch over the shore. In the warm round room at the heart of the lighthouse, you sit with a blanket over your shoulders while a long, gentle rain falls outside. A lamp glows low on the table, and steam rises softly from a cup beside it. Through the small window, the rain draws silver threads against the dark, lit faintly by the beam high above. The sound reaches you muffled and even, a quiet hush that fills the room. The sea sighs slow and far below, soothed by the falling rain. The thick stone walls keep the warmth close around you. You sip slowly and feel the heat spread through your chest, and your eyelids grow heavy. The rain keeps its patient rhythm out in the night, and the warm room holds you safe, and gently you begin to drift towards sleep. The little tidal causeway to the lighthouse island lies bare and gleaming in the low evening light, the sea drawn far back on either side. You walk it slowly, the wet sand cool beneath your feet, ribbons of seaweed lying still and glistening along the edges. Ahead, the lighthouse glows softly against the sky, going from gold to gray blue, patient and welcoming. Small pools along the path hold mirrors of the dimming sky. The only sound is the distant murmur of the retreated sea, and the faint cry of a single bird settling for the night. You feel unhurried and light, walking through this quiet in-between place, where land and sea have traded their borders, and the dusk gathers gently around the waiting tower. On the lighthouse balcony, sheltered beneath a broad iron eave, you stand and let the steady rain fall just beyond your reach. It comes down straight and unhurried, a soft gray curtain between you and the quiet sea. The railing is cool and beaded with water under your hand. Far below, the waves move slowly, their tops smooth flat by the rain. You can smell the clean wet stone and the faint salt of the tide. The lamp behind you hums and turns, painting the falling drops gold for a moment each time it passes. There is nothing to do here but breathe and watch and rest. The rain keeps its gentle rhythm, and your thoughts grow soft and slow. In a small reading nook at the base of the lighthouse, a single worn armchair sits angled toward the western window, and the golden afternoon fills it like warm water filling a cup. You sink into the soft cushions, and the light lies heavy and kind across the open book in your lap, though you are not really reading now. The pages glow faintly amber. Outside, beyond the thick glass, the sea shines wide and calm, and the lighthouse tower stands warm and bright. A faint smell of old paper and salt fills the quiet air. The light moves slowly across the page as the sun lowers, and your eyes follow it without urgency, and your breath grows long and slow, and the soft hush of distant waves carries you gently toward rest. On a windless morning, the sea around the lighthouse lies almost perfectly still, a wide sheet of soft gray reflecting the paling sky. You stand at the tide line where the water meets the smooth sand and watch your own dim reflection in the wet shine. The lighthouse stands tall behind you, doubled faintly in the mirror of the flats. The air is cool and quiet, and the only sound is the faint, slow lapping far down the beach. As the dawn warms, the reflected sky begins to blush, and the whole still surface takes on the gentlest glow. You stand quietly within it, breathing slow, as though you and the morning were one calm thing. Along the tide line at the lowest ebb, the wet sand makes the smallest of sounds beneath the night sky. Tiny bubbles rise and pop softly in the shining flats, a faint fizzing whisper that fills the cool air. Far out, the retreated sea murmurs low and even, and the thin film of water slides back and forth across the sand with a gentle hush. The lighthouse beam sweeps slowly overhead, and its faint hum drifts down through the calm. You walk out across the broad glistening sand and listen to the quiet breathing of the shore, each small sound clear and soft, and you feel the wide, still night gather peacefully around you. In the calm of the lighthouse lamp room, you sit on a low stool and watch the first light touch the polished prisms of the great lands. The lamp has been dimmed, but the curved glass still catches the growing morning, scattering it in soft, faint rainbows across the walls. The room is cool and very still, scented with oil and brass polish. Below, through the windows, the sea lies smooth and gray, breathing in long, slow swells. No wind stirs. The faint hush of the waves on the rocks rises gently from far below. You watch the soft colors drift slowly across the curved walls as the sun climbs. Feel the deep quiet of the high room, and let your breathing slow until it matches the gentle rhythm of the sea. The lighthouse window seat is a favorite of yours, cushioned and worn, set into the thick wall where you can watch the beam sweep the sea below. You curl up there now with a soft shawl, the cool glass at your back and the warm room behind you. Far down, the waves move slow and silver under the turning light, breaking gently and sliding back. You remember countless evenings spent just so, content in your own quiet company, the solitude soft as the cushions beneath you. The lamp hums faintly overhead. The night is mild and deep, and the sea keeps its calm, patient time. Your eyes drift half closed, and the slow gold sweep of the light becomes the only thought left in your peaceful, drowsy mind. From the foot of the lighthouse, you watch the autumn tide come in over a wide flat of golden sand. The sea returns slowly, threading silver fingers between the ridges, smoothing them flat, filling the small pools one by one. The low sun turns each advancing sheet of water to liquid amber. Behind you the tower glows warm, its lamp beginning its slow nightly turn. Wading birds step delicately along the water's edge, lifting and settling, calling softly. The air is cool and salt sweet. You stand quite still and watch the gentle, patient flood, the way it asks for nothing and simply comes, inch by quiet inch. The light passes overhead. The tide breathes in. The whole shore settles softly toward dusk, and so do you. The dunes give way to a wide, calm beach below the lighthouse, and you sit on the cool sand at its edge. A faint breeze drifts off the still sea, just enough to stir the marram grass behind you with a soft, dry whisper. The water is smooth and dim, its low swell folding over with a gentle sigh and sliding quietly back. Above, the white tower glows against the night, its lamp turning slowly and casting a beam across the calm water. The salt air is soft against your skin, and the only sounds are the breeze and the gentle hush of the tide. You breathe slowly, watching the light come and go, and feel the deep stillness of the shore ease over you like sleep. The keeper's kitchen glows warm and low, a single kettle cooling on the stove, as the lighthouse beam passes the window in slow golden strokes. You sit in the old chair by the hearth, a soft blanket across your knees, and listen to the sea sigh somewhere beyond the wall. The wood of the table is marked by 100 quiet suppers, and you trace its grain with a fond, sleepy fingertip. Outside, the night is mild and the waves are gentle, folding over the shingle with a sound like slow breathing. There is nothing to do now but be here, warm and unhurried, while the light keeps its faithful watch and your eyelids grow pleasantly heavy in the hush. Inside the lighthouse, a small reading room holds a single soft lamp and a deep, worn armchair. You sink into it on this warm evening, a book resting unread on your knee. Through the open window comes the steady murmur of the sea and the warm, salt-scented air. Above, the great lamp turns, and now and then its glow brightens the curtains before moving on. The room is full of quiet comforts, the tick of an old clock, the faint creak of the chair, the soft hum from the tower. You let your eyes drift from the page to the dark window and back. There is no rush to read, no rush to do anything. The warm night holds the lighthouse, and the lighthouse holds you, and that is enough. The lighthouse keeps a small lantern room halfway up its height, and you pause there on your slow climb to watch the dawn through its eastern glass. The water far below moves in slow, gentle swells, just beginning to catch the silver of first light. The room is cool and dim, smelling faintly of oil and salt. You rest a moment on the narrow sill, looking out at the brightening sea and the dark, patient rocks. A single boat sits far out, motionless on the calm water. The horizon warms by slow degrees. There is no hurry in the climb, no hurry in the morning, and you let the deep quiet of the high room hold you while. On the cliff path above the lighthouse, you pause where the grass gives way to open sky, and watch the spring evening soften over the sea. Far below, the white tower stands at the edge of the rocks, its lamp turning slowly, painting pale arcs across the gentle water. The path is bordered by sea thrift, small pink blooms nodding in the mild air. The sea breathes far beneath you, an even soothing sound that rises up the cliff face. The sky is washed in dusky rose and gray, fading toward the dark. You stand quite still, the cool air on your face, and watch the light wheel below, and the slow grandeur of it makes your thoughts go quiet and calm and unhurried. You have climbed to the lantern room, where the great lamp turns slow and steady beside you. Through the open vent comes a faint breeze, cool and salt-tinged, slipping past the glass and away into the night. Far below, the sea lies in deep stillness, a smooth dark plain catching the lamp's light in a single traveling stripe. The mechanism hums gently, a low and even sound that seems to keep time with the calm. You watch the beams sweep out across the water and dissolve into the dark, then return, patient and unhurried. The breeze breathes through the room once more, and you feel your shoulders ease, settled by the quiet turning of the light. In the small hours of a winter night, you keep the lighthouse company from the warm lantern room, watching the dark sea breathe far below. The lamp turns slowly on its smooth bearing, and the beam reaches out across the black water, touching nothing but the slow pale crests of distant swells. Frost has feathered the outer glass, and the room hums with the soft turning of the light. The cold of the deep night presses at the panes, but the warmth of the lamp holds it back. Now and then a faint, cold breeze whispers past the tower, then falls still. You sit quietly, wrapped warm, watching the patient sweep of the beam in the slow dark sea, and the long, lonely peace of the winter night settles around you like a soft, heavy blanket. High in the lantern gallery, a starling has slipped into a gap beneath the gutter for the night, its dark feathers tucked tight against the cool air. The bird that wheeled in great flocks at dusk is still now, settled alone in its small sheltered space. The great lamp turns just beyond the glass, throwing its light out to sea, and the soft glow spills gently around the starling's hiding place. Below, the cliffs and the dark water lie hushed and quiet. You watch the small shape grow still, head sinking slowly into its feathers. The salt air moves softly past the tower. The starling rests in its high sheltered gap, warm and safe, while the patient lamp keeps its slow watch over the sleeping coast. Let the silence hold you now, deep and warm and kind. The day is over, and there is nothing more to think about, nothing more to do. The lighthouse glows quietly above the calm sea, its lamp turning slow through the dark. The waves whisper softly far below, easing you toward rest. Let your breath grow slow. Let your body grow still. Let your mind sink into the gentle quiet. And let yourself drift down now deeper and deeper into a long and peaceful sleep. The night will keep you safe until dawn. Rest now and let yourself go.